Okay, this video is about the rich paying their fair taxes. Who pays the most taxes? You know, what I found out was, what I heard, I read it in an article, is that there's like 8 million people in Manhattan. You know, not in the 5 boroughs. On Manhattan Island, there's about 8 million people. Okay, now out of those 8 million people, let's see if I got this right now. Half of the tax revenue for the whole island of Manhattan, half of the tax revenue out of 8 million people is paid for by 35,000 people. Okay, so 35,000 of the richest New Yorkers are paying half of the taxes for the whole island of Manhattan, for the whole 8 million people, right? So 8 million people are paying the other half. 35,000 people are paying half of the taxes, okay? The tax revenue for the whole island of Manhattan. That's crazy. That's so, you know, but when they turn around and tell you that the rich aren't paying their fair share of taxes, and that that you know, the country is being carried on the backs of the lower middle class, it's a lump of shit. You know, you know, without the rich paying the rich. Without the rich, we wouldn't have nothing, okay? Because the rich, who gives you your jobs, okay? That's, you know, the whole thing. Of course, you know, what the problem isn't the rich. The problem is the disparity in the salaries, and that the middle class is going down into a lower middle class, into a, what do they call it, a working class, let's say. You know, it's what it is. It's a struggling working class. It's not a middle class. It's not a lower class. You know, the lower class is being subsidized by the government, so they're sitting comfortable. You know, the lower class sits in subsidized housing, on food stamps and Medicaid and all kinds of, you know, heat benefits and you name it, right? And so they're sitting on the lower end, and then you got the struggling suckers in the middle who work 2 jobs, you know, 1.5 jobs, two people working 2 jobs, you know, trying to do whatever they can to make ends meet, and they're being taxed on both ends, and they're the ones that are getting screwed. There's no way out for them. That's what the problem is. The problem is not the rich not paying their fair taxes. The problem is that the middle class has no way out. Okay, you're stuck in the struggle. So, you know, you've got 2 choices. You stay in the struggle, okay, or you give up, you tread water, you give up, and you fall back into the lower class, and you get on welfare and food stamps and subsidized housing and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, you work a minimum wage job and get all the subsidies. You know, so, you know, that's what the government wants. The government wants there to be 2 classes. The government wants there to be a lower class that's socialist, right? That it's a socialist lower class where they're dependent on the government, and they work menial jobs and they get menial salaries, and the rest of their cares are given to them by the government, or the subsidies. Okay, whether it's health insurance, whether it's food stamps, whether it's housing, you know, or Section 8 housing, or a job fair, or job training, or something subsidizes these people, all right, so to keep them into a socialistic existence, right? And the upper class, well, they live aristocratically, you know, as the upper crust of the upper class. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to separate it into 2 classes. There used to be 3 classes. There used to be a middle class that the country used to, you know, be built upon, the normal people, the everyday people, the blue-collar worker. And that's being squozed right out, you know, that's being, you know, look at it. The college, oh my God, this guy's cutting me off. The college kids, there's no trade school. People don't go to trade school. It's looked down upon. So the blue-collar worker is looked down upon. You're either a white-collar worker or you're a lower-class worker. Okay? There's no 2 ways about it. So, you know, that's my rant pretty much about the rich not paying their fair share and what's wrong with the freaking class system in this country. And, you know, like, share, you know, leave a comment. Let, you know, figure it out. Let's start a discussion on taxes and what do you think? Do you think the rich pay their fair share? Do you think they should pay more? Do Do you think that the middle class? Do you know like 60% of Americans pay no income tax whatsoever? People don't even realize that they pay no income tax. If you make under a certain amount of money, I don't know if it's $35,000. It depends on if you're a married couple with kids and all. But there's a limit as to if you make under that. Maybe it's $12,000. I don't know what the freaking number is. But if you make under that number, you pay no income tax. And there's like 50 to 60% of the country don't pay any income tax. As a matter of fact, that not only do they not pay income tax, they get a tax refund every year in the thousands of dollars. So they don't pay taxes, they get refunded taxes from all kinds of tax credits and stuff. And this is part of the problem with the whole system. All right? Well, like I said, leave a comment. Kind enough.